Hello, good evening, greetings and salutations. How the hell are you and everything else? I hope everything's going your way out there. I hope that everything is going your way. So guys, God has put this in my heart to share with all of you today. I am live from the beautiful state of Nevada. You know, last night, I'm going to tell you guys something. During these spiritual awakenings that happen and are happening on a seemingly global scale, it used to be that you had to be like something like a monk for basically your entire life to have these experiences like spiritual awakenings, kundalini risings, all of those things. It seems to be not too long ago in human history, you had to be like something like a monk or a yogi or something of that variation and variety. And you had to basically retreat from the known world, from society, and you went to live in like a monastery maybe, or an ashram, or anything. But I want to tell you, God don't give a damn where the hell you are, because he said it's time for the people of earth to wake the shit shack up. He said, I don't care if you're in a monastery, I don't care if you're in an ashram, I don't care if you're in a caliphate, I don't care if you're in the Kaaba, I don't care if you're in New York City or California, I don't care if you're in the United States or in Asia, I don't care where you might be, because today is a new day and it belongs to me. And I say to all the people of earth, it's time to wake up. I'm going to tell you something. Buddha put it like this, that a single light from a single candle can light thousands and millions of candles, and not once has that flame ever diminished from that original candle. And so it is, if you have the light, if you have God in your heart, that will radiate out of you. You will become the light of the world. You will be the candle of the world. And you will walk through the world. And no matter where you are, you will burn brightly inside of your heart, and it will radiate outside of you. And it will illuminate those who are fast asleep, who are in the dream state, who are living but are not present, who are awake but seem like they are dreaming. Today I come here to share something with you. That new believers and the newly awakened, those just waking up, you got something in common. And I'm going to share it with you. Now, my tradition, but your tradition probably has something along these lines, and that's okay, because we ain't got to fight, because today's a new day. I'm going to tell you what. Throughout all my times and existences and lives upon this earth, I have been every holy man that there has ever been. And I tell you this today. We are all praying to the same one. We are all putting faith in the same one to deliver us. We are all hoping for salvation from the same one. You see, the only differences there are these eyes, these physical eyes we all got, they deceive us. Because the only differences really are skin deep, and those ain't much of nothing. Because beyond this flesh we walk around in, beyond this flesh that we are seemingly entrapped in and ensnared in, that the heartbeat keeps who we really are inside of. That's who we are. We are the Spirit. We're the breath of life. We're the children of God. We're the divine spark of God. We are the image of God, and we are all God because we come from God, and that makes us God. You see, these senses, these bodies, they deceive us because they have limitation, but we don't. And the more we believe and the more we walk in the Spirit and the more we welcome the light and the presence and the glory of God into our hearts, the less limitation there is on these bodies, because that's the truth right there, that it is Spirit intertwined with everything, and Spirit is God. And today I'm going to share something with you. You see, new believers and those who have just woken up, many of your spiritual gifts are going to come to you. What you've always had, but you've always overlooked. Maybe some of us, the world turned them off on us. Maybe circumstances that seem to be beyond our control, they had to pull us away from our gifts and our spiritual power and our talents. Maybe whatever the case may be, they're going to wake up. And they're going to come to you slowly, because as Peter wrote to us, Peter said that new believers are like newborns. They got to have that pure spirit, the truth, fed to them like their mother's milk. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to add on to that today. That new believers and the newly awakened, they have to be fed that milk, that spiritual milk, in the same way a newborn is fed. That's why our talents and gifts are coming to us, and they come slowly. And some people it takes decades. The faster you accept and surrender to the will of God, to the Spirit of God. The Spirit of God doesn't come to oppress you. It comes to awaken you and make you greater than you ever thought. The more faith we have, the more trust we have, the more acceptance and surrender to this amazing transformation, the faster it will go. The faster we will die and be resurrected and reborn as we should have been the entire time. The world piled a lot of things on top of all of us. It told us what to think and what to believe and what all meant and what everything meant. But it was never like that. It's like it piled a mountain of mess on each of us, and we got to burn it off. It's got to be burned off. It's got to go into the fire. We got to go into the fire so that we can be refined, transmuted, just as lead is put into the alchemist's laboratory and refined and transmuted into gold. So it is that the rocks that come from the mountainside got to go into the furnace, got to go into the fire. We got to go into the fire so that we are refined, so that we will be refined. And all that was slag, all that was not real, all that was worthless can come off. It can be incinerated, it can be burnt off. And what remains will be the gold. What is real, what is valuable, will be what remains, and what remains will be what has always been. The Spirit, the essence, the presence of God that dwell within you. It's like the booty warrior said, God says, I like you. I want you. Now we gonna do this the easy way. Or we can do it the hard way. Choice is yours. And as these new gifts come online, they're going to come, like I said, at different time intervals, but they're going to seem like they come slowly. Because just as the newborn has to be fed that milk, that pure spiritual milk, just as the newborn has to be fed slowly and gently at a consistent pace, or else the newborn will obviously, bad things will befall the newborn. So it is. When that spirit wakes up and you feel those energy surges, and you meditate and you pray and you feel the Holy Spirit move through you, you feel that energy move through you. Moses had to raise a serpent in the desert. That's what it is in reference to. It is an intelligence in that spiritual energy, in that power. And that spirit knows exactly what's got to go. You've got to accept that it is now. That is the situation in your life. And you should surrender to it. You've got to, because it's not going to stop. Oh, you can pray all day long, but the one you're praying to initiated that. Before you were even a twinkle in someone's eyes, before you were even thought of, before your parents and your grandparents too, before all of your line, all of your ancestors and all that was, God already knew it. He had already dreamt it up and thought it up. He had already seen it coming. Before you ever were, He knew you, and He knew all the days of your life. Everything that befalls us, the good and the bad times, God sent them. Feast in the good times, drink your wine in the good times, rejoice in the good times. Know that God sent those. And then in the bad times, remember God sent those too, says Solomon in Ecclesiastes. The key to the present moment in the dialect and the practice and the source material I like says everything is meaningless, utterly meaningless. This is not to cause sorrow, though it will at first, but when that is refined, we find out the truth that all these things, these superficial petty things that we put on pedestals, that we devote our lives to, the careers, the jobs, whatever it is superficial and meaningless. And when we grasp that in its true meaning, we have the gold of life, for we are free. We realize it is true. There is a time for everything under the sun. There is a time to live and there is a time to die. There is a time to resist and there is a time to surrender. There is a time to feast and there is a time to dance and mourn. There is a time to believe and there is a time to break and shatter. There is a time to be rebuilt and resurrected, and there is a time to walk in the Spirit indefinitely. There is a time for it all, and now is this time. The time of surrender. Oh boy, there's 3 baptisms, ain't there? And there's 3 great catastrophes talked about in the Bible, ain't there? There's a flood, there's your baptism, there's your washing, there's your physical cleansing to get you ready for the next one. And sometimes the next 2, one comes before the other, but they come. There is the baptism of spirit, and there is the baptism by fire. The fire is not to punish you. It is to put you in there and you will be guided to be cleansed spiritually inside. And in this, inside of this, sometimes they intertwine, but in this way, then you will become spiritually baptized. You will begin the baptism of the Spirit. God detests foolishness. He sees through it as what it is. He sees things that are not worth attention, to put it simply. That means when we are baptized through the fire and the Spirit, the baptism of the Spirit, that's when the Holy Spirit wakes up. Oh, we've got it. But the question for everyone today is it awake in you? When it wakes up, it guides us through the fires of the baptism of the fire. It helps us to be cleansed inside in a way that soap and water cannot clean us. And when it is done, you will be a new creation in Christ. You will be a new creation in the Spirit. You will be a new creation in God. But everything that is a waste, is not worth a damn, is not godly, it has to burn and incinerate away. You have to accept what is meaningless, and you have got to let it burn out of you. The burning is in reference, it's going to hurt inside. Mystics wrote about it as the dark night of the soul. But it really is the nightmare in the darkness. And the best thing you can do is surrender. And this is a slow process, because as a newborn has to be fed slowly, so too does a new believer of the Spirit of God. I'm going to show y'all something, and I'm going to tell you something, because I got a sign last night, and I knew that a message was coming. Now, this is a pasture, and I'm sorry about the light. Usually it's full of cows. All right? Usually it's full of cows out here. Last night, and during this process, we question. And it doesn't look pretty. It can downright look like Job. In fact, during this process, you're going to feel like Job. You're going to say things, because I have done it. You're going to say, God, why? God, why? Why do you do these things to me? Haven't I done right? Haven't I done good? And it's okay, because God don't hate questions. You can't be unlimited love and infinite compassion and forgiveness if at the sign of any question you flip out and punish somebody for asking a question. So is with God. Ask your questions. Only a fool that says I know everything but knows in their heart they know nothing is afraid of a question. During this process, during dark night of the soul, whatever we may call it, we're going to find ourselves questioning and seeking. And don't worry, if you're not spiritual, it's coming to you too. Because if it's in one person's heart, it radiates outward, and there is nothing that is not affected by the light of that heart. I was out here on this pasture asking God, I want to know why. Why all these spiritual gifts wake up? Why all this pain? Why all this suffering in this process? I want to know why everything is meaningless. I want to know I want to know where the purpose of it is. I want to know. And when I ask that question, they're not on this side right now, but just as I did, there came a big black cow walking by. And I watched this cow, and not too long after that cow, its friends, a small herd of cows, came behind it with some calves and some heifers. And as I continued my questioning, right there stood that cow and that heifer. And that cow looked right at me. And right as it did, its heifer began to headbutt it in the udders, and the cow started to moo. And I watched that cow, and I didn't instantly feel better. But when I did, I remembered what I read. At first I thought it was Paul. I had to go back and check it. It was Peter that wrote about the spiritual milk and the newborn. And I watched this go on, and that cow just looked me dead in the eyes, just mooing right at me. And ain't that how it is, how God talks to us sometimes? Over the course of the last 5 years, slowly but surely, as my faith grew in a real way, I felt these things turn on. Oh, they were slow, just like that analogy and that metaphor. Oh, they turned on, and now I feel when someone's feeling something, oh, I don't feel their emotions so much anymore, but right here, pulsing when someone's having an emotion or a feeling. Because they don't just turn on like that. God's been at this a long time. He wants you to wake up. And to do that, it doesn't just turn on overnight. Most of the time you hear about those people, they have these awakenings, and some of them end up in psych wards. God's like a whisper. He's gentle. Takes his time. And if you stay with it, over time, you will grow spiritually. In a real way. In a real way, you will grow if you walk in the Spirit. How do we walk in the Spirit? You have faith that there is a Spirit first. All paths lead to the same place. All paths lead to the same place. And as you walk, God, and I want to say, if the urge and drive to go to church, but you have a hunger for God, open up a Bible. Ask Him to reveal whatever He has for you. It says it right there in there. You can ask for the secrets of the universe, and He'll show you every single one of them. Seek Him and you will find. Ask and you will receive. Knock and the door will be opened. Whatever happens to you on your path was meant to happen then. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it doesn't. And now I feel like that's all there is to say about that. I want to encourage you to not drown yourself on spiritual milk by getting in a hurry. There's a time to hurry up and there's a time to slow down. So, that's it. Hope everything goes your way.